Okay, this part is really, 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 really friggin' weird. Um, there's a lot of science that backs it up. So it's like I'm gonna try and dumb it down so that we can kind of understand about it. But it is the study of so many different sciences: quantum physics, neurology, psychology, information theory. Holodynamics got the is the best um, source of information that I would recommend for everybody, but it's flawed. That's the problem. Is most of these areas of study are flawed because they're missing information. As soon as you gain more information, you can see which aspect of it is like, well, that wasn't relevant at all. That had nothing to do about anything, but really clouded the issues with the facts. So as soon as we get new facts, we create new issues until we get complete facts. So it's like I've said in some of my videos that when I completely crashed, it was like, no, remember your beginning. You were right all along, you know, and it was like this big wake up, yeah, that because I was this black sheep, I've already known the difference between right and wrong, and that a lot of things were wrong in our world, but I was trying to function and be good at it. You know, like I was fooled into um, being the best at everything that I wanted to do, and I wanted to be the best mom, and being the best mom with kids that are ADHD. Um, this holodynamics sort of explains why the behaviors that I took or chose in raising my kids. And not that I was perfect, it was a process that I was believing society and how I should raise kids, the discipline and all of that shit. But I found it way too cruel. I couldn't do it. It only took a few times and it was like, no, this is not worth it. And I'm pretty sure they probably have memories of it, which I'm deeply sorry for any time I would have created any form of pain. But I learned to start listening to myself and be the best parent that I could be. And I know what kind of parent that I needed. So I just sort of put myself in my kids' shoes and said, well, I'm pretty sure you know what kind of parent you need as well. So I listened to what kind of parent they wanted me to be. And part of the weirdest thing about reality is we mirror each other. You know, if everybody starts liking pink, we all start wearing pink. We all want to be different, but as soon as you're different, everybody wants to be different just like you. So, and it is that sheep mentality. We've put that label on that, but that's just a label to a behavior that we all want to be accepted and loved. How the hell can you, you know, you want to be um, different and loved for being different, you know, but then you see everybody's going for that same thing, that I am different, but you need to love me because I'm different. But then we all start acting the same because we mirror each other. So, that is the biggest part of this insane illness, which I don't think is an illness. I think it's just a behavioral problem that society has developed um, you to behave and react the way you do. If everything the way you would react was considered normal, and that's really really hard to wrap your brain around, um, we wouldn't be doing the things that we're doing. But we've been fooled into believing that discipline, for one thing, you know, discipline what? Discipline to fit within the system. So you're basically teaching how to do everything wrong, and we've been doing that for generation over generations. Um, but um, if I was a parent that um, I kept seeing that I had a child that couldn't be trusted, that means that they have parents. More than likely, the person that's complaining about it is the one that can't be trusted, but doesn't know it yet. And they have this behavior that a child is learning from. And you can tell that the child is learning it from the person that's making the complaint about the child can't be trusted, because the child would be hating it. Because if the parent's constantly complaining, there's something bad about you, there's something bad about you, there's something bad about you, you can't be trusted, it doesn't feel right. That's a normal, healthy human behavior, that if somebody says something that's not nice to you and not true, then it will hurt your feelings. So while it's hurting your feelings, you are paying attention to it. We all levitate to pain more than pleasure. We're striving for that pleasure all the time, but a lot of this programming is causing everybody to be in pain. So the thing that causes us the most pain tends to grab our attention, because it's the thing that's causing you the most pain, and it's like you want it stopped, and you're trying to find the solution to how do I stop this pain that's coming from this direction. Although most people aren't aware of it, but that's basically what's going on. So the child learns behaviors, how not to be trusted, because he's marrying that parent. It's like monkey see, monkey do. And so the child knows that he's doing what's right, because if it's, this is what you're doing. If it's okay for you to do it, it should be okay for me to do it. And then he does what the parent is doing, and then the parent disciplines. So it's like really insane, but that is really what's going on. If you make a complaint about something, you are guilty of it. That's why I really, really, really try not to judge and complain about other people, because I'm looking at it through my eyes. I'm the one that's mirroring the whole friggin' reality that I see. So any aspect of the reality that I see, I'm the one creating it. Massive, massive pill to swallow. But with kids that have ADHD, if they know that, then if they control how they feel and what they put out into the world, then people will mirror them. So that is the biggest challenge, is to know when you're being who you want to be, or being who somebody's manipulating you to be, to mirror them. And it is who you pay attention to. I mean, whoever your heroes are. That's why they take advantage of music and in the music industry. It's highly suggestive. And as long as you worship them, then you'll follow them, just like a freaking Bible. And God didn't come with a Bible. It's just some guy that, got inspired. He probably had ADHD. It sounded really good at the time, but so did the first book, the first testament, or the first the first part of the book that was really, really cruel and evil looking, and then they had to rewrite it, and then they rewrote it, and then put in the phrase, the Bible should never be changed. And yet it's changed how many times? So, and everybody's like, I can only get a happy life if I'm dead. That's where heaven is. I mean, if you really, really want to look at the very, very root, get rid of the drama, the particle wave, the story. It's like, look at the behaviors and just seeing the feelings that are going on. How are you feeling? Like, what do you want to feel? Why is it you can't feel it? Something is the cause of all of that. So, ironically, I'm dealing with these issues that, okay, my kids are now focused on me because they dislike me. They cannot communicate with me. I have communication issues because I have information. There's a long list down there that says if you qualify for one of those, all of a sudden you're stupid. You shouldn't be listened to. You think you know it all. I'm trying to fit within those guidelines of saying I'm open to listening to anything anybody's got to say, but as long as you're willing to listen to me equally. That's part of the issues with abuse, is being nice gets you nowhere. Being nice gets you programmed. being nice doesn't allow you to ask questions and have a voice. You really have to firmly say, this behavior is not acceptable. It ain't going to happen. Like, so if I ever was in, you know, want to listen to somebody's advice about this so-called illness, I want to have my say, but I'll listen to your say. I'll listen to your suggestion of a solution. I could be wrong. I would really, really love that. That's part of you gotta turn your life into something good. And it's like, okay, I would really, really be excited to find out the information that proves me wrong. I mean, if you announce out in the world that says this is the way it is, doesn't it sort of like put it out there that, okay, challenge on, somebody beat this? Because that's ultimately what it is you put information out there and then somebody's going to prove you wrong. So it's like I've just raised the bar to, okay, here's my suggestion. No medication. We actually get smart. It's not a disease. We're actually doing things right. We're solving problems. We're solving the healthcare issue. The planet gets clean. We get good food. We're loving our lives. Everybody's peaceful, calm. Our school system's good. Everybody's getting good grades. If there was a solution to the whole problem without taking a pill, is it worth listening to? That's all I got to say. And part of that is you've got to take personal responsibility and realize that if you dislike something in your life, you are the one creating it and you are a genius, which means if you can control what you put out in the world, you are like HARP. You are like fixing the planet is not as big as we think it is. I mean, it's just our perception that the globe looks like a massive problem to solve. It ain't. It just feels that way because we don't know what the answer is. But, and one good example of it, and metaphors is the best way of seeing it, is I seen this big, massive barn burn down in this like Mennonite area. I was driving a school bus at the time, so I've watched it, driving back and forth. This thing was burning down for like a week. It was that friggin' large. And then they rebuilt. You should see them. They're like little ants. They have this massive farm, so it's like wall to wall horse and buggy. And they're all there building this barn. And I would go out in the morning and it's like, holy shit, they got the foundation going in one day, like one morning. Like, when did they start? And then I do an afternoon run and it's like they got the whole frame up, and it's a bigger barn than what burned down. It's like 3 times the size of what burnt down. They're enlarging now, and it's like by the end of the afternoon they got the walls up. So it's like, yeah, things could take forever if you wanted them to, but things can be done really fast. It's all time, perceptions of time. And we do need a labor force, but let's face it, there's a lot of people that are unemployed. Lots of opportunity to fix things. All you have to do is get a little school going and teach a few kids, with ADD, how to be super geniuses, and poof, you got a totally different reality. But that's what I've been doing. And one of the things, I'll give you some examples of what it is that I do. And I found out my son is like, can't sleep at night because he's worried about me. And basically what the thing is that he wants me to go out and work in a world that I know is really, really wrong and would cause me health problems. I know that I need to be the solution to my life and not be pressured. And that's what I've been getting is I've gone through friggin' hell. I have a ton of health issues. I have ADD. That should be a good reason. If you want to label me, okay, I've taken the test. I challenge anybody to not diagnose me to have ADHD, because I'm pretty sure I would fit within that if we want to do the labeling shit. But there's a ton of mental illnesses that people say that I have. My main concern is I have fibromyalgia, which is caused by fight flight. And over years of being scared to death, which ADHD people, anybody with obsessive compulsive disorder, you are in a fight flight for the answer to something. You're super genius. You're using your super genius skills and you're overacting your muscles by this need to achieve something. And you're going to create your muscles eventually from wearing out. Part of my cure, oh, I'm over. Just hang on.